This is a list of the causes of death of the monarchs and lord protectors of England, the Kingdom of Great Britain, and of the United Kingdom. First disclaimer, there is normally multiple theories of causes of deaths of kings and queens. You will hear me say it is said or it is thought, and providing cause of death or multiple causes of death. Second disclaimer, many ages of earlier kings will be approximates due to not knowing the exact dates of birth for certain. This is why you will often hear circa dates for a year of birth or death. We will start with, after the Kingdom of Wessex and the Briton kings, with William I. He is thought to have died from his saddle pommel causing some internal organ damage and later infection, or of an unknown illness, being either 59 or 60 years of age. William II died from an arrow through the lung or in the chest. It is not certain if this was by regicide or by a bad hunting accident, being somewhere between 40 to 43 years old. Henry I is said to have died possibly from food poisoning from eating too many lampreys against his doctor's orders. He was 66 or 67 years old. King Stephen was thought to have died from a stomach disease or bowel disorder and internal bleeding. He was 57 to 62 years of age. Henry II is thought to have died from disease or from a bleeding ulcer at age 56. Richard I died from an infected wound from an enemy crossbow. He was 41. King John died of dysentery at 48 or 49. Henry III is thought to have died of natural causes. We are unaware of the final illness that took his life, but he was ill for an extended period of time prior to his death at age 56. Edward I, just as his grandfather did, died after suffering badly with dysentery at 68 years old. Edward II's death is often stated via historical legend that he was murdered from a poker to the rear and other violence, but he may have also died of natural causes following his abdication. He was 43 years old. Edward III died of complications of a stroke at 64 years of age. Richard II is thought to have more than likely died from starvation, though rumors circulated after his death of foul play. He was 33 years old. Henry IV had various rashes or skin diseases as well as other illnesses, dying from one of these, possibly the plague or leprosy. What exactly was the cause of death is uncertain. He was 45 years old. Henry V died of dysentery at 35 years old. Henry VI, according to the chronicle at the time, states he died of melancholia or of a broken heart upon hearing of the death of his son, though an examination of his skull in 1910 suggests he died from a blow to the head. Whether self-inflicted or ordered by Edward IV is unknown. He did also suffer from bouts of illness for most of his life. He died at age 49. Edward IV is thought to have died of tuberculosis or pneumonia at age 40. Edward V was deposed by his uncle and was locked in the Tower along with his brother, Richard the Duke of York. He is thought to have died possibly by murder. It is unclear if it was by Richard III, Queen Consort Anne, Margaret Beaufort, or Henry VII. It is never able to be confirmed, but more than likely dying around 12 to 13 years old. Richard III died at the Battle of Bosworth, had 9 head wounds to the skull, and that was more than likely the cause of death. He was 32. Henry VII died of tuberculosis at 52 years old. Henry VIII died of natural causes, though he was in poor health and had gout in his leg. That wound in his leg had ulcered. He was 55 years old. Edward VI died of tuberculosis after contracting measles and smallpox. He was 15 years of age at the time of his death. Lady Jane Grey, the disputed 9-day queen, is included in this list as she ruled for 9 days, unlike the pretender son of James II and the Jacobite line. Later, Jane Grey was tried for high treason and sentenced to an execution. She was beheaded. She was 16 or 17 years old. Mary I died of influenza, commonly known as the flu, or possibly from ovarian cancer. She was 42. Elizabeth I is thought to have died from blood poisoning, though it's a possibility she may have also died from pneumonia or cancer. She was 69. James I of England, also known as James VI of Scotland, is thought to have died of a stroke and natural causes at 58. Charles I died via decapitation, technically being regicide as he did not abdicate. He was 48 years old. Lord Protector Oliver Cromwell died of malaria. He was 59 years old. Lord Protector Richard Cromwell died of natural causes at 85 years old. Charles II died of a stroke at 54. James II of England, also known as James VII of Scotland, died of a brain hemorrhage at 67. Mary II died of smallpox at age 32. William III of England and II of Scotland died of pneumonia. He was 51 years old. Queen Anne, after suffering a series of strokes, died at 49 years old. George I died of a stroke at 67. George II died of acute aortic dissection, meaning he died from a split tear in the main artery. He was 76. George III suffered from mental illness and was unable to walk in his last few weeks of life. He died, though, of pneumonia at age 81. George IV died from upper gastrointestinal bleeding at age 67. William IV died of cardiac failure at 71. Queen Victoria died of a cerebral hemorrhage at age 42. Edward VII died of pneumonia at 68 years of age. George V died of regicide. His doctor, Lord Dawson, was a believer in eugenics, and as the king was old and sickly, he decided to give him a lethal injection. Though originally Lord Dawson stated it was due to natural causes, it was later recovered in his diaries that it was due to a lethal injection that he gave the king. The queen consort and the princes were not consulted of this. George V died at 70 years of age. Edward VIII died of throat cancer at 77 years old. George VI died of coronary thrombosis, a blockage of flow of blood from the heart. He was 56 years of age. Elizabeth II, stated to have died peacefully in her bed, meaning that she died of natural causes as far as we are aware. She was 96 years old.